Students, welcome to another Mr. Ness screencast. Today's aim is the September 9/11 attacks, and here are your objectives. Please pause the video, look the objectives over, and get ready to copy some vocab and take some notes. Let's start by reviewing the word terrorism. Terrorism is the use of violence and intimidation on citizens in order to achieve political change. Terrorism should not be confused with war. Terrorists target citizens and the public for political reasons as opposed to war in which the goal is to defeat another country, and casualties are seen as collateral damage. Some terror attacks often lead to war, like the September 9/11 attacks that will be discussed in this video. This began with Al-Qaeda, which was a radical Sunni Islamic terrorist organization founded by Osama bin Laden. Bin Laden and Al-Qaeda did not like the U.S. for their involvement in the Middle East back in the 1980s, like the Persian Gulf War. Keep in mind the U.S. were in their policy of containment during the Cold War. This led to Al-Qaeda hijacking 4 United Airlines planes heading to California. These planes were selected because of the large supply of gas for the long trip. 2 planes hit the World Trade Center, aka the Twin Towers, and destroyed them completely. Another hit the Pentagon, and the last, Flight 93, landed in a field in Pennsylvania. Because the flight was delayed, it allowed the passengers to learn about the attack and stage an insurrection, preventing further damage to the United States. All passengers were killed and nearly 3,000 died, including firefighters, police officers, and other first responders who rushed in to save the injured. This event also caused many diseases like cancer from the inhalation of dust from the collapsed towers. The effects are still staying today. After 9/11, current president at the time, George W. Bush, declared a war on terrorism called Operation Enduring Freedom. The War on Terror was a global counterterrorism campaign initiated by the United States, which lasted from September 11, 2001 to August 30th, 2021. So it ended pretty recently. This war was fought mainly in the Middle East in countries like Iraq and Afghanistan. Bush demanded that the Taliban government in Afghanistan hand over members of Al-Qaeda, including Osama bin Laden. This led to war in Afghanistan. America also went to war with Iraq. Bush claimed that Iraq's dictator Saddam Hussein had ties with Al-Qaeda and had weapons of mass destruction. After Saddam was defeated, the U.S. did not find any weapons of mass destruction or any evidence proving Saddam was connected to Al-Qaeda. Around this time, the Department of Homeland Security was created to prevent future terrorist attacks. The United States also issued the Patriot Act in 2001, which was a broad counterterrorism act that gave the government more power to prevent terrorist attacks. This included domestic surveillance, collecting mobile data, funding for anti-terrorist needs, new definitions for terrorism, and more severe punishment for terrorists. Many criticized this act because it legalized spying on citizens, violating their Fourth Amendment right to privacy. It was also criticized for the inhumane methods of interrogation like waterboarding, which bordered on torture. After 9/11 occurred, many Muslims faced racial discrimination, the process of immigration was changed, airport security became more strict, and domestic surveillance increased. Now it's time to review the objectives, and if you don't know the answer to any of them, rewind the video and look again. I will see you in class. Bye, students.